I feel the space inside, and I hear these voices tell me it's over. I feel the space, it's in time, and I hear these voices tell me it's over. Down on my knees, praying, please take this dark cloud. And what was so mighty and powerful about the project itself is that throughout I was able to write a song which is called One Fight. The One Fight song is also a song that seeks to encourage anyone that feels as if they've reached a point of no return, they cannot go on. Someone with suicidal thoughts, and we know suicide is one of the phenomena that are happening in our world, whether young people, elderly people. Also, it's for people who feel as if they've got nowhere else to go. So the song simply says that we all have each one fight within us. When you've got too many voices in your head, some are telling you something positive, some are telling you something negative. Some voices even try and remind us of the things that we are trying to filter, things that we are trying not to remember, because the pain is so unforgettable. But the song simply says that you've got one fight in you. You just need to pray one more time. And I love the lines that says, I didn't even know that God knew my name. I was waiting for me. I never knew, had it all inside. I never knew God knew my name. I never knew. I'm still left. Not going way things used to be. I'm still left with fire. So I look at the music itself. Sure, I worked with the best, I would say for me, the best in the game. People who are very musically inclined. The executive producer is actually Oli Tabete. Oli is one of the best producers in the country for me, I think, in the gospel space. Who has he worked with? He's worked with Benjamin Dube, he's worked with Soli Mahlangu, he plays for Tandiswa. And the musicians themselves, I mean, the drama was Sabu. I can go on and on and on. But you know what was interesting is that none of those people I've actually met, which shows you that when God is ready to take you far, He even prepares people for you along the way. So the funny story, what happened was, while in recovery, in my 6th week, while waiting outside for my daughter to finish a ballet class or ballet lesson, right there was a heavy voice, a heavy, I would say, action on my shoulder that said, phone a friend of yours from Durban. And I phoned him. I said, look, tell me the top 3 producers in gospel. And he gave them the names, and Oli was the one that came tops. Why? Because of the spirit and the type of person that he has. He's not just about the music, but he'll sit down and he will, critique the songs. He'll tear them apart. He'll tell you, this is not working, that's working, that won't sound okay. He's not about output, but he takes his time. And it took us literally 3 months for 4 songs. That's how serious he was. And he was a great somebody because he allowed me the room to grow. I've never been in a music booth. I've never been in a music session. I've always done live ministering or performing. That is a church mostly with a live band. So being in the studio was a very different take for me, having to repeat the songs, repeating a line, repeating a note. But he was very patient enough for that. And out of that, we came out with the best songs, I think. Why? Because in many situations, we feel as if God has forgotten about us. But God never forgets us. He even knows the number of hairs that we've got. He knows the tomorrow, the future. So there's no way that He would forget any person, especially someone that loves Him and called for His purpose. So that's been the story and the journey of the music. It's a 4-piece EP. The 3 songs are mostly, gospel, because that is my first genre of music. I listen to so many genres of music, from jazz to hip hop. Hip hop being my first love, because I love, again, the skills that comes in writing. Today's pop, I think there's also some good messaging, but not. I stand to be corrected, not everything. So I take it by a pinch of salt today. Also, African rhythms, which I listen to, anything from Miriam Makeba to Hugh Masekela to the recent Bo Judith Sipume, Thandiswa Mazwai. If I look at overseas, it could range anything from, let me see, the oldies, Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Marvin Gaye, the OJs, recent jazz lovers, anything from Layla Hathaway, anything from, sure, there's so many. But those are the influences, because I pick music based on what it makes one feel. And music is one of those universal languages that you can go anywhere and sing a song in isiZulu, but you find people, they'll come and say, what is that song saying? Why? Because it made them to feel something. And what do I want to get out of this? And I hope that anyone who picks up the book, The Things She Remembered, a person can find themselves in any character. There are so many characters. There's the father to the girl, there's the sister to the girl, there's the brother to the girl, there's the grandmother, there's a grandfather, there's the husband. Because the abuse itself is not so much for women, but even young men and men who have gone through so much. Some of them, they've grown up without father figures. So it makes it difficult for them to know, what does love look like? What does it take to take care of one's family? If you didn't have a present father, how are you now expected to also be that if you were not taught? So the book is not just biased to women, but it looks at a family setup, because we are in the journey of building families, and those, they could range from however type it is. What else?